Alright, today we are not in the garden, but we are inside the house because I want to show you my low maintenance setup for bunnies, everything we do, and how we make it really easy for these little guys to be happy, and honestly, less work than a house cat, for the most part. So, first things first, let's start right over here where they are. We have these little castles for them that I got for Christmas. They are cute little bunnies. You can see Fluffy just woke up from her nap right there. So we found that they really like to have multiple ways to get in and out. It kind of simulates their warren setup where they have many different tunnels to go in. And you can see over here, we have these little pads right here, these stones, tiles from the hardware store, and it stays nice and cool in the summer. And I think it does mimic the bunny's kind of natural, dark and cool environment. They really seem to like these, and it does stop them from tearing up the carpet quite so bad. Another thing we do is you can see that there's tape on these baseboards because the bunnies are basically beavers and they do like to chew them up. We haven't stopped them from tearing up certain corners of the carpet. It is still pretty bad. Like over here, you can see that the tape has not been winning the fight, so we just keep the door open pretty much at all times. It also helps us see the bunnies. But with these new doors, you can see that they have not chewed it up. I hope that this doesn't rip off all the stain on the wood when we take them off, but hey, it's something. So far, so good. And another way that we help keep their, not aggression, but their little excitable nature down is we have this little corner full of lots of fun things for them to tear up. So we have this plastic packaging, we have old blankets and towels, and you can see that Lucky is already getting excited and she wants to play with me because she thinks we're having a bit of fun. They love to grab these blankets and to bring them in their little castle and pull them all the way through, sometimes pull them all the way out. And you can see she's doing that right now, eating some. And over here, we have some more heavy-duty cardboard for them to tear up when they really want to get at something. And this is great. We'll move the blankets back every few days, and the bunnies seem to really appreciate that. It's great stimulation for them. Yeah, she's even eating it through that little window right there. Silly bunny. And they do have other toys like this ball. They don't seem to really fuss with it unless we kind of kick it towards them. Then they'll do a little slam dunk with it. They have a little basket here with toilet paper rolls to chew on. Some little pieces of packaging. Again, this is all paper. And we have these little fabric strips, which they've kind of begun to ignore, which I am happy with. My girlfriend may disagree, but the bunnies, every now and then, they'll fill up their mouth with this, and it seems like they have a hard time actually spitting it back out. So I get pretty worried about that when it happens. Has not happened in a while, but I don't think I'd recommend these little fabric strips. So over here, for the more conventional parts, you can see that we have these two hay feeders, one with these little sticks and one that has these circles drilled in them. They both have these big plastic insert tubs where you can take them out, and we just dump the litter straight into the garden. You can go right on top of the plants. It's a cold compost, so you don't need to cook it. And bunny poop is very nutritionally dense, so I've been using that almost as my only fertilizer in the garden for about 5 years. I've had no trouble whatsoever. It seems great. When it comes to these two different feeders, I would say I recommend the one with the circle setups because you could tell that they have chewed through a lot of these and there's only 2 left. I think we used to have 4 or 5 of them, and they are just little beavers and will eat it. So I recommend these ones. We have pee pads that we put in there when we replace them because the bunny pee seems to be almost caustic, where it can kind of eat through the plastic a little bit and just really hard to clean off and nasty. The litter does a really good job of absorbing it, but it can't do it all. So I've been experimenting with putting shredded cardboard as a base layer to help absorb more than the pee pad can on its own. And that seems to be working pretty well if you are looking for a kind of sustainable way to create some more litter. All you need is a paper shredder that can handle thick, heavy-duty cardboard. We do have these little candles in the corner. Any object will work, but it's because the bunnies, they seem to want to every now and then dig this up to chew on it and tear up their little pee pads, and it just adds more trash to pick up and more bits and pieces when we clean these. But we have to empty these about every 10 to 14 days. They get pretty full. The bunnies will naturally dig out litter from their feeders, So these never stink on their own. They just get full. I've never been in the room and it has not smelled like a barn. I haven't had a nasty litter smell. I know what that smells like when a bunny has a poor setup, but this really does work very low maintenance. Over here, you can tell that we have these 2 gravity-fed waterers. They work pretty good. They do tend to spill a little bit when we replace them, but these are hand-me-downs. But if I got other ones, I'd get some that are more like a water cooler, where it's a bit easier to remove these without risking spilling, and maybe even to just fill it up from the top. I'm not quite sure. My girlfriend usually manages that. But these do last quite a while, and the bunnies are totally happy with it. All they really do eat are these little bits of hay, but we do give them pellets once every morning, and that is to make sure that the bunnies are happy and they are eating. They don't really need the pellets in their diet, but sometimes they will get a little stomach ache and they won't want to eat their favorite treats. And if you are a bunny owner, you should know that GI stasis is a real thing. If the bunnies are not eating every day, their guts will stop and they will die. So sometimes we will get a little syringe and kind of force feed them a little applesauce or something that is bunny safe but easy to eat, just because once they stop eating, they can get really sick. And it only happens, I would say, a couple times a year. The bunnies' ears also do feel pretty cold, but Fluffy, what are you doing? Usually they do come back around pretty quick when we feed them. It just seems like they get a little tummy ache sometimes. Yeah, I see you, Fluffy. We see you. Yeah, we see you. Yeah, she's very happy. Go lucky bunny. These are about 4 years old now. We got them during the pandemic. Happy baby bunnies. And when it comes to cleaning the room, you can see we have a big air purifier here, because I am very allergic to hay, and when the bunnies start digging and kicking up the hay dust, I just start sneezing and I won't stop. But on top of that, you will get this layer of hay dust on everything, and my girlfriend keeps her room pretty clean, so it's not here now. But that's just one thing to consider, is this really makes it so you don't get a thick layer of dust on all your stuff. It will kind of get on her dresses because we have no doors in the closet right now for the bunnies, but this helps a lot with the maintenance of the room. And on top of that, we have these tools here that are little carpet scratchers. Let me see the brand. This brand is Uproot, it seems. I just got this on an Instagram ad, and all you do is you scrape the carpet, and you can already see that while this is pretty clean, there are bits of bunny fur that are collecting. I think my girlfriend scraped this just a day or 2 ago, so not the best example, but usually you get a big handful of fur if you do that, and you've been slacking on your cleaning. This is a really quick chore. There is a version of it that we do have that comes with a long handle in our supply closet, so you can use it just like a broom, and that is really nice. But if you have a carpeted floor, I would recommend doing this to defur your bedroom, and it helps, again, keep this being a nice, clean, normal bedroom. And aside from that, we do have someone come out to cut the bunnies' nails once a month or so. We wish that we socialized them more when they were little. You can see that, especially now they're a bit older. Yeah, she's running away now. She wants to play. But for the most part, they almost always accept our pets. They are super cuddly and nice. They won't quite sit in our lap, but they do like affection. But the bad thing is, it is not very easy to get to their little paws. If we try to grab them or pick them up, they are not a big fan of it, and that is just our part for not socializing them and getting them used to being picked up and messed with when they were babies. It is dangerous for bunnies when you pick them up, because they can kick around and break their own back because their legs are so strong. So we just feel a lot better having a professional come out and do it. The local nail trimmers, they market themselves as a dog company, but they do bunnies as well. So if you really don't like cutting your own bunny's nails, or that's a chore you find yourself neglecting, it may be money well spent. I think for the both of them, it's about $30 or so. So not super cheap, but I mean, saving us one chore, keeping them happy, healthy, it is totally worth it. So I think that's about it for our low maintenance setup. We do have these bunny treats here that they seem to really enjoy. Yeah, they know that sound. You know that sound. So these are just compressed grass treats. Same thing as pellets. We do give them herbs from the garden, and they do just fine with that. We give them chamomile, thyme, I sometimes give them tree collards, which are high in calcium and are not the best for them because they have a tiny bit of oxalic acid. But in my experience, the bunnies are just fine eating that unless you just give them stupid copious amounts. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will respond to them all. I hope this is useful for all of the aspiring bunny owners out there. Please take care of your bunnies. They are exotic animals. Most people neglect them, and this is what it looks like to have a low maintenance setup that keeps them happy and healthy. I'll see you guys later. Please leave a comment and I will try to get to them all. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.